All right, there we go.
Morning, Les.
Good morning, David.
How are you doing?
A little busy this morning and good, as my grandmother says, very fruitful.
Good. So today we're going to talk about a topic. I don't think we need to reintroduce ourselves every morning. Maybe
Sure, why
people know
not?
who we are. Okay, I'm David Hanscom. I'm a retired spine surgeon. This is Dr. Les Aria. And who are you?
I'm Les Aria.
There's more behind that term than you can imagine, but this is Dr. Aria. And he and I have a good time doing this every morning. We have taught each other a lot. We have a good time with it. We challenge each other a lot. And what I like about Les, we get to challenge each other pretty hard. And I'm usually right.
I nearly choked on that one.
No, we challenge each other really hard, but we're able to go back and forth and just learn. And it's just been a lot of fun for me. So I've had a tremendous amount of knowledge, and none of this is static. We're all learning. But this morning's topic is called your demons. All of us have demons. And what,
Right.
first of all, why is that? Why do we all have demons? And then it's actually these demons are who you are not. And so we want to go into that a little bit because it's sort of the crux of the whole solution. Remember, mental pain is a bigger problem than physical pain. And so really what we're dealing with is that reaction called anxiety, which is a neurochemical response to a threat. It's not the cause. So we have these demons or really unpleasant thoughts that torture us, but they create the same reaction in our brain and body as a physical threat, but we can't escape them. Any comments on that, Dr. Aria?
Yeah, I think, part of being a human is learning how to navigate this life. And one of the most difficult things we as humans struggle with is we struggle with the difficult thoughts that we experience, emotions and sensations. But today we're talking about thoughts and suppressions of that. And it comes back to this is 99% of us do not know how to deal with the thoughts that show up. And the quick go-to is be more positive. And as I said previously in a different morning visit, we talked about when you have negative thoughts, sometimes we're taught to be more positive. Now you got two radios playing in your ear, between your ears, right? And
Right.
so what we want to do is find new ways of relating differently to difficult thoughts and emotions.
I think that's been really fascinating and actually a little disturbing to me is that thoughts, again, they've done the research that when you have an unpleasant thought, it goes to the emotional center of the brain and gets the same chemical reaction to physical threat. So then
Yeah.
you feel the sensation called anxiety. But the other problem is the repetition.
Yeah.
With repetition over your lifetime, this is a programming problem. And I'll use the word, I don't want to actually be really clear how to use this term psychological, because it is the psyche. But when people use the word psychological, they somehow think, well, it's some sort of unclear phenomenon that's going place. That's not true. It's very clear. You have a cause and effect. The brain's being attacked. I'll use the word attacked by thoughts, and you have a reaction. So the behaviors are psychological, and psychology has a huge role in this. But again, these reactions are unconscious, they're irrational. But the key issue today is that they're who you are not. Otherwise, you wouldn't be suppressing them.
Yeah.
So you're suppressing them, which we know gives them more power than thoughts that you express. Then you have time and repetition. And 10, 20 years later, you have these monster thoughts. You're trying to fix them, solve them. But again, when you're trying to fix them and solve them, you're giving them actually more neurological attention.
Yeah. It sounds like, David, what you're saying to the audience is that the more we try to fight what shows up, suppress is the word. And just a quick education for everyone. Suppression is a conscious decision you do to like, not now. Repression is an unconscious process, much like the unconsciousness of your breath, your heartbeat, things like that. That's unconscious. It's automatic. So coming back to what you said, I think we often fight with our difficult thoughts. Why? Because that's part of being human. We push bad things away and we want good things. We do this push-pull effect. And I think what you're really re-emphasizing today over and over again is that, look, when difficult stuff shows up, it's really not who you are. You are not your thoughts. There's another way of looking at it.
Right.
A thought is a thought, but sometimes folks say like, yeah, what do I do? Just ignore it. So David, what do you do when you have difficult thoughts? When you know you're consciously like, all right, I've got to get this done. There's this, if I say the wrong things, it's going to kind of get heated. So how do you deal with thoughts that spin in your head?
Well, Generally speaking, in the last 15 years, it's been a dramatic change. And it started with the expressive writing, simply write the thoughts down. And we discussed this yesterday in our podcast over the Facebook Live on the seed of our undoing. And if you have a good intention, you have a conscious intention, your unconscious brain comes up with the opposite. And so the most well-intentioned people end up with the opposite reaction. It's very perverse. So my life was abusive as a kid. So I was repressing, right? I didn't know what to,
Yeah.
I just simply dealt with it. And then when I get older and the thoughts became more clear and stronger and unpleasant, I was obviously suppressing them. And in 1997, I developed a full-blown obsessive compulsive disorder, which is marked by very vivid, intrusive thoughts.
Mhm.
It's this repetition.
Yeah.
So I want to be a good, compassionate, kind physician, and the thoughts are exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
And so I went to counseling for over 13 years to solve these things, and it got way worse. Now I'm for counseling, is support, wisdom, guidance, but your type of therapy is different because you're trying to connect the mind with the body. So
Yeah.
some of these incredible anxiety reactions or sympathetic nervous system reactions, and I
Yeah.
didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to give the audience a tip. I think you gave one already, so we can be clear here. Is so one way to deal with thoughts as opposed to just shove them away like a garbage can that overflows eventually, right, into the
Yeah,
body.
there you go.
Yeah, see, you like that, and you like that, huh? See,
Yeah,
I've
no, it's
got
true. But it is, but see, it's it is garbage. I mean, it's irrational, right?
it is, and so it shows up. So one way is to expressive writing. And David, I want to give the audience, another tip, a really fast tip that's really simple. Going back to the beginning of today's morning statement, you are not your demons, you're not your thoughts, you are not the things that show up. Then what are you? You are the person that witnesses that shows up, and that's kind of metaphorical. However, here's a simple tool that I use frequently. When you have overwhelming thoughts or thoughts that are just unhelpful, I want you to try this. Just simply say, huh, thanks for your opinion. It's interesting because it's just a simple way. So if you think of your thoughts as a third person, someone outside of you, you relate to it differently. So that's a great tip. Hopefully that you will enjoy using it. Just simply thanking your mind for its opinion.
Huh.
Exactly like that.
I won't tell you what my thought was. I'm just kidding.
Thanks for your opinion, David.
But will we talk about this a lot over the next few weeks? Because there's actually not that many solutions to this, but the solutions are incredibly simple. We have expressive writing. I think that's a great idea, by the way. So the key issue is creating separation.
Yep.
Just separation. So skilled meditators can do this with meditation. David Burns had a suggestion, which was very powerful for me during the worst part of my ordeal. It's actually standing in front of a mirror and talking to yourself with the voice that's in your head. You would never talk to another person like this. Why would you talk to yourself? So again, you want to be a good person, but the inner critic says the opposite. It's not a matter of loving yourself. These are just the way the brain works.
Yeah.
So it's the yin and yang of your brain. So once you understand it's just irrational reactions to good intentions, then things change. And it's actually not that hard to solve, but unless you know the problem, it's almost impossible to solve it. So Les, any thoughts for the day? I think that's a great thought, by the way. It's just, I
Yeah,
like
and thanks for your opinion. Now, don't go do this with Babs or anyone else, including me. That's for your personal thoughts. My parting words to everyone on a sincere note is we have a lot going on in life with COVID, and we're dealing with all of these things in our life. Be kind to yourself. Be gentler with yourself.
Yep. And we will talk about this over time, but when you're anxious or frustrated, those are reactions. And the key is not to fix those, but as you de-energize those, who you are starts to emerge.
Yeah.
And it's a reverse process, and it's very powerful. So Les, thank you. Have a great day. And thanks everybody. So again, this is called Dynamic Healing Moments. We do this every day at 7 to 7:10 in the morning. And just a few thoughts. And we're excited because we're digging into the literature a little bit. We're researching a bit, getting a change some idea. I actually learned a nice idea today. So amongst many, I mean, Dr. Ari has been a great teacher for me. And so there's a joke that our friend Dr. Porter says that Dr. Ari is my guru. He actually listens. I would be sort of the opposite. I would be sort of the opposite of that. So anyway, Les, thank you again for another. Appreciate it. See you guys later.